Welcome to yet another analysis brought to you by ICHA Support Foundation, collaboration with Career Naksha. So, at ICHAs, we are committed to empowering coaches and mental health practitioners to contribute to a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling world. We achieve this by providing comprehensive step by step trainings that equips them to with advanced coaching and therapeutic skills. So this in turn enable them to better serve their clients while achieving their professional and personal goal. So this webinar is proudly brought to you by ICHA Support Foundation and integral part of ICHA's, where the core mission of ICHA Support Foundation revolves around promoting mental health care, that is creating awareness, providing support, and offering education. So we firmly believe that by enhancing public awareness, educating communities, and providing individuals with the right tools, we can foster optimal mental health for all. Uh, yes, also we are having monthly webinars and case discussions. So keep an eye on our social media channels for announcement about the upcoming webinars and workshops. So today's webinar is made possible through our partnership with Career Naksha, our valued collaborator in the field of career counseling. So joining here today is Lohit ji, my co-host from Career Naksha, and Dr. Ashwini Kamath. So she is a practicing dental surgeon, a counseling psychologist, a psychotherapist, and also a career counselor. So I request Lohit ji to please give a short introduction about Career Naksha.
Thank you so much, Shifa and Aishars. Always a pleasant to be here. Address the different categories of audience what we have, and we have delivered many knowledge sessions for their benefit, for them to upgrade themselves in their life. It helps them to move forward with their life and grow in their personal and professional career. Namaste, my name is Lohitji Udyawar. I'm one of the senior career counselor and master trainer from Career Naksha. Karen Aksha been working on many aspects in terms of career counseling, providing the career counseling support and guidance sessions, talk shows related to the career, what is suitable career for the young generation. So we started almost more than it's been 10 years now, where how we started this platform, and we've been working with students and graduates and also working professionals. When it comes to working professionals, so I've seen being from corporate background, I've seen people switch the job for so and so reason, and the career transition that happens, and with the zero clarity most of the time, they happen to choose wrong domain, all right, or they end up with the wrong domain. So where we also been working with working professionals, and yes, of course, with the student, we work with students and schools, institutions, NGOs, uh, providing guidance and counseling with our own developed psychometric assessment, which helps them to identify their interest, ability, career areas, the career choices, where we help them to create a very beautiful career in the field that they are planning to get into. We also were working on skill development programs, and life skills programs, communication related programs in multiple languages across India. We have more than 60 centers across India having more than 20,000 counselors, certified counselors. When I say certified counselors, so it is through the government initiated certification, which is national certification, what we provide to all the aspiring counselors. So we have been working on aspiring counselors to help them to find their own career and get into career counseling field, which is a growing sector nowadays, and most of them are pretty interested to get into career counseling, help the students or the youth also. We've been providing certification program as well, and we work with many corporate companies under CSA projects and providing to them the customized assessments, which helps the HR segment to choose the suitable candidates. And many consultancy recruitment agencies we worked and we've been working pan India on these aspects. And there's a bit information about it. So just most of you can uh, take some time, check out our website, our social media, the programs that we have been doing uh, across India and abroad in terms of career counseling and skill development programs. So you can check out our Career Naksha YouTube channel, Career Naksha website, and social media platform. And if anyone is interested, please feel free to connect with us through our contact number given on the website. With that, it's pleasure to have Dr. Ashwini Kamath, one of our proud counselor, uh, talking about very interesting topic of the day. The June, we are on 12th of June, the schools have started already, and we have picked the right topic, that is academic trauma. So I think, without further ado, I would, give out the platform for Shifa and Dr. Ashwini Kamath to take it forward, because most of have logged in and just waiting to hear the very important topic of the day. Thank you so much, Shifa. Shifa, you can go ahead. Shifa, you're there? Yeah, you can go ahead, Shifa.
Yeah. Okay. So request and I hand over the session to Ashwini ma'am. So ma'am, you can just go ahead with the webinar and yeah,
Okay, Esther,
just go ahead with your
your
short
voice was
introduction.
breaking. I couldn't hear. Yeah, okay. Good evening, and thank you so much, Shifa, for this opportunity. Thanks to Rohit, to Career Naksha, to CCI for giving me this training, and for HRs for giving me this opportunity to speak and address about a topic that is very crucial. So, today we're going to be talking on the topic which I have named as academic trauma. Okay, so I'll be sharing a presentation. I hope it is visible. Is it visible?
Not
Okay.
at this moment. Shifa, could you please enable the presentation, please?
Is it visible now? Is it visible?
Yes, Dr. Ashwini.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So today we are going to be dealing with the topic of academic trauma, and we'll try and understand what are the different degrees of damage that this is doing to our present generation of kids or students. So first and foremost, even before we begin, I would want each one of us to take out maybe 5 minutes of our time and access this particular URL and give a short quiz. Uh, are we on for it? You can take down the link. It's tinyurl.run slash AWS. And for those of you who would want to give this quiz right now, I shall be reading it out. Is that okay? We'll deal with one question at a time, and just be honest. Try and answer each question. So there's no right or wrong answer. Each question can be scaled as never, sometimes, often, or always. So can I start? We'll begin.
Yes,
Am I
ma'am.
audible?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, you
okay.
are audible.
So we'll begin with a questionnaire. The first one is, I feel anxious, stressed, or I experience physical symptoms, maybe like headaches. Maybe I feel an anxiety coming in, panic, maybe, or maybe I feel insomnia or lack of sleep. Whenever I think of school, exams, or marks, even when nothing is immediately due. So, where do you grade yourself? Is it never? Is it sometimes? Is it often? Or is it always? So, take a couple of seconds. You can mark your answer. Go on to the next one. I avoid studying or completing assignments because I fear failure, judgment, or disappointing others. So, what is it going to be? Never, sometimes, often, or always? The third question is, I feel that my worth or identity is defined by my grades or academic performance. Yes or no? The next question is, can you recall a moment when a result deeply affected how you viewed yourself? Maybe take a minute, you can close your eyes, you can think about that time when maybe your academic performance affected the way you saw yourself as a person. When was this? How did it feel like? Who were there with you at that time? What was the outcome? The next question is, I feel pressurized by others, maybe parents, maybe teachers, or society in general, to perform and often compare myself to either classmates or maybe toppers in my class. Is it always? Is it never? Is it sometimes? These questions are for self reflection. So you can just answer them. Google form is there. So you can answer it on the Google form. The next question is, I have been shamed, punished, humiliated, or labeled for poor performance in school or college. Is it never? Is it sometimes? Is it always? The next question, I feel guilty when I take breaks and I tend to overwork or delay things due to fear of not being good enough. Is it never? Is it sometimes? Is it often? Or is it always? The next question, what kind of habits or emotions do you notice during stressful academic periods? Maybe take a minute, think back to the times when you have had a very stressful situation that you are dealing with. What did you notice? What emotions came up? What were the thoughts that were running in your mind? How did you feel in your body? What was the outcome or the behavior of that particular emotion? The next question, I feel disconnected or emotionally numb in class, even during subjects that I used to enjoy. Is it never? Is it sometimes? Is it often? Or is it always? The next question, I constantly replay my academic failures or past negative experiences and feel like I cannot move on. Is it often? Is it never? Is it always? Or is it sometimes? The next question. I am afraid to speak up, to ask questions, or even disagree in an academic setting because of fear of ridicule or authority. Is it often? Is it sometimes? Is it never? Or is it always? The next question. I feel lost without academic achievements and struggle to recognize my strengths outside of school performance. Is it yes or is it no? The next question. What are some non academic strengths or passions you wish were acknowledged more? So maybe think about your strengths, about your unique qualities. Have you been acknowledged? Have you been validated? Have you been appreciated for these qualities that you have by anybody? How did it make you feel? The next question. I know where to seek support and have tried or want to try self care tools like journaling, mindfulness, or even talking to someone. Is it yes or is it no? The next question. I believe I can redefine success in a way that supports my emotional well being and personal growth. Is it a yes or a no? And the last question, this is one question that I often ask all the children of high school or middle school. What does success mean to you? Because again, success is a very subjective term. What is success to me may not be what is success to you. So, what is it? What does success look like to you? So, do we have all the answers? I hope all of them have done this. Yes? Am I audible still? Have I lost you?
No, all good.
Okay,
All good.
okay. So now that we have reflected on a few questions, let's go ahead and try and get to know what is academic trauma. So, if you notice this particular screen here, can you see it? Is it visible? I think I have to share it again, right? Just give me a minute, please. Okay, visible, right? Okay. Now, this is what I call it as the mugshot of merit. Now, past 1 month has been the festival of academics. So, you've had random coaching institutes, colleges, universities doling out the rank holders' photographs or mugshots, as I call them. So, there's been this whole lot of photographs you might have had a look at photographs in the newspapers or even those rank holders interviews you have seen on TV on various channels. So all of this is a part of June, July. So as Lohit just mentioned, our schools and colleges have reopened. There are a lot of university openings that are still going on. The admissions are still going on. The CUET is done. The JEE mains are done. The NEET is done. But admissions are still going on. So all of that maramari is still going on. Okay. So This is something that we have seen. Now, let me ask you, have you had any kind of an experience about academic trauma? So, maybe we each have our own stories, right? And I would like to tell or mention a few that I have known maybe through my sessions, because I'm also a psychologist and I also work with kids. I'm a volunteer as a school counselor also. So I would like to mention a few things that maybe have come out in the media or experiences that I've had with children. So these are things that we really need to focus on as far as academics or our school is concerned, schools, colleges. So I'm sure all of you have heard about the Kota tragedies. So the number of kids that have died by suicide, more than 33 of them. And it's very heartbreaking to read such news or get to know that children who are the future of our country are opting to end their lives rather than study, with high pressure. So it becomes very difficult for them to deal with this kind of a situation. Maybe it is because of the mushrooming of all these coaching institutes and the random competition that is there, the all the gutbud with the marks that happened, the NEET. We all know, we are aware what happened with the NEET exams last year. So maybe all of this has a role to play in what is happening in the students' minds. But sad story. Next, I'm sure you have heard about this boy called Arjun from Bangalore. This boy suddenly stopped speaking in class, and this was a child who was very interested in his studies. So he was very active, he was very interactive, and he used to always, answer the questions that was asked in class, and he was very interactive with the teachers, with the students. But suddenly he stops talking. And after a couple of sessions of counseling, it was realized that this child has, because of fear, he has lost his voice. Now, this is what is called as selective mutism. And he gradually has now started to speak again, but it was a long journey for him. I'm sure most of us have heard also in our own families. I did, I know, and maybe many of you have also heard. बस इतने ही marks आए. So when my daughter got 89.4, now she's just finished her 10th standard like last month, and many of them had that question mark, that typical eyebrow raise of why not above 95, why not above 90. Now this is a child who is really not interested in going into JE or maybe NEET. So she's got her goals clear and she never aimed at 95 above. Maybe the potential is there, I agree. But then she is someone who says, Mama, 10th is for basic knowledge. So this is somewhere where I am judged whether I have the basic knowledge or not. Going ahead, I know that I'll have to put in more efforts, and that is where I'm going to put in my efforts. Don't expect me to burn out by the time I reach there. Okay, fine, perfectly all right, right? The children are smart, they know it. So many a times people ask you, बस इतने ही आए हैं marks, बस 60% ही आए. Is it only 70? Is it only 80? So let's not categorize children based on their academic performance. Okay, so this is something that we need to think about. There was also this guy, a student who wanted to get into Harvard. So he was so desperate to get into Harvard. He went through career counseling and all of that. He did his SOP. Everything was in place, but he was not selected to the Harvard. So he says either it is Harvard or nothing. This is the only place that I want to go to. Nothing else makes sense to me. So this boy dropped a year and again gave all his exam SATs, everything, and then again finally he got into Harvard. So this is also a scenario that we see often, and this hits close home because this was the incidence of a student whose mother had reached me last year, Now, this is a child who had topped the country, okay, All India rank 1 in medical and All India rank 1 in MD. Okay, he did it through AIMS. But this particular boy, he was not able to cope with the pressure of day to day, he was in intensive care. So he was not able to cope up with the pressure that was there in the routine hospital visits and all of that. And ultimately, he just ended his life. So this was a child who was All India rank 1 but chose to end his life because somewhere he felt very emotionally numb. And his mom told me the last time that he had reached me, he said, Mama, mujhe kuch man hi nahi kar raha. I'm not feeling like living my life. There is nothing, there is no meaning in life. So even if the child is a very high academic performer, how emotionally mature or how much of mental stability is there in that person's life is also very important. Emotional resilience is required. Okay. And I have often seen kids also. I have had my cousin's daughter. She dropped a year so that she can get into the college of her choice. But dropping a year or repeating a year is still frowned upon in our society. And they say, oh, ek saal waste ho gaya. So it's not about choosing your career path and being very focused and working towards it. It's more of time waste ho gaya. Maybe that child gets into the career of maybe not his or her choice, ends up ruining his own whole life, but that is not considered. But that one repeat year is usually looked at with a kind of raised eyebrows, and there's lot of comments that goes on. So this can also be very traumatic for a child. Do let me know if any of you have faced this in your own life, because these are things that are relatable. These are all things that have happened for real in our lives. So I've also seen in my daughter's class, there were a lot of kids who wanted to take up commerce or humanities. So there is this divide, science versus commerce versus humanities has always been there. And it's been there even when I was studying, when I was in my 12th. And I was someone who had got some 96 something percent. I don't even remember my percentage now. But it was understood that if you get a percentage like this, you're bound to get into science field itself. And here I was in Mumbai at that time. I had gone to this beautiful college called Nirmala Niketan, which is a college for humanities. I had got their forms, filled the forms, and I wanted to submit it because I wanted to do home science. And in my house only, my mom and my dad had a fit. They said, no, uh, at this percentage, you're not going to be taking up home science, not even humanities, home science. So they said, no, it is impossible. You have no choice. You have to take science. Of course, no regrets. I've enjoyed my tenure of science. I have done my BDS. I'm a dentist, still practicing in Bangalore. And I'm also very interested in psychology and parapsychology. So I just keep learning. That's a different thing. But still, okay, so commerce is usually understood that it is for people who have that particular frame of marks, say 70 to 80, 85% people go into commerce. Below that, need to get into humanities. So it's not so. And believe me, after studying psychology, after taking a part of humanities and studying it for over the past 8 years, what I've realized is it's not easy. And do you think it's a joke that people take up humanities because they have less marks? Just imagine your school ka history, geography. Do you think it was easy? Oh, or even politics, economics, all of these things. Do you think maths was easy? Accounting, all of these things. See, each of these fields has its own challenges. That is something that we don't realize. So our choice, our interest also needs to be taken into consideration. There's no shame in choosing a particular stream. Okay. So this is something that we need to make people aware. And I've often heard, this is a very typical Indian dialogue, especially by parents to their children. They say, पढ़ ले नहीं तो भिखारी बन जाएगा, ऐसे भीख मांगना पड़ेगा रोड पे. So there's a lot of verbal abuse that is normalized, and it's usually said in such a way. It is very humorously said कि तू ऐसे ही बनेगा, तू भिखारी बन जाएगा, तेरे को ऐसे लेके कटोरा लेके बैठना पड़ेगा if you don't study. So there are a lot of people, entrepreneurs who have shined in life, maybe school dropouts, college dropouts, doing so much better. And there was this joke I recently came across in Facebook which says, the front benchers hain, all of those are working for the back benchers. Fact hai. Okay. So let us not just categorize the students like that. Next is let's consider the role of parents, of society, of teachers, the kind of importance that we give to scores, to academics. So I'm sure most of us have seen this Three Idiots movie, jahan pe there is this guilt tripping done by the parents, where they say bhindi ki कीमत. So it's something like भिंडी की कीमत कितनी है तुम क्या जानो. Okay, so the parents usually do this. They say, I have done all for you, I have done ABC for you, I have done this, I have done that, just so that you are able to college. मैंने अपना घर गिरवी रख दिया, मैंने अपना ज्वेलरी बेच दिया, all of that thing. Are we trying to guilt trip our children into taking whatever we want them to take? Are we living our lives through them, or is it for them to find their life? So this is again a point to be contemplated. And one question I really would love to address, I would like to ask, how many schools do you think provide any form of mental wellness programs or even career counseling for that matter? Any idea? Lohit, you have any idea? Any idea, Lohit? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, okay. Any idea, Shifa, how many schools or colleges do have provision for career counseling?
Not really.
Hardly any. Okay. In fact,
Yeah.
there's no importance which is even given for mental wellness or any form of training as far as how children can deal with the day-to-day negativity or whatever they're going through. It's really sad, but fact hai. So that brings us to an understanding of what we think is academic trauma. So academic trauma is not about something extremely destructive or something that a person has gone through that changes their life. It's not failure. It's more of stress. So when we talk about stress, what do you think is stress? Let me give you a very simple terminology or understanding of what stress is or stressors are in routine day-to-day life. So we have this acronym which is called as UDIN. Okay. So U means when things that are unexpected happen to you, it's basically you who is in the picture. So when things that are unexpected happen to you, okay, you had totally no idea कि ये कुछ होगा, but it happened. D stands for dramatic. So when something totally unexpected happens, and you feel like you're in the middle of a stage or you're in the middle of a drama, you're playing a role in that drama. You feel helpless. You don't know what's going on, and you're just standing and watching. Okay. I stands for isolating, which means you feel all alone, you feel anxious, you feel lonely, and you feel that nobody is there to support you through this phase. And N stands for numbness. When you feel, yeah, I'm just feeling so numb, there's hardly anything that I'm feeling, that helplessness that comes inside you. So these are what lead to you feeling anxious, to you getting on that, uh, the vehicle of anxiety. So once you feel anxious, when you feel that stress, and also there are very high expectations that you have from yourself, expectations that your parents have from you, maybe your teachers have from you, the society in general is expecting. This also happens कि सचिन तेंदुलकर का बेटा सचिन तेंदुलकर से ज्यादा अच्छा या उसके जैसा बन क्यों नहीं पाया, right? So there is a lot of expectation that is there from the society also in general towards students. So a doctor's child has to become a doctor, something like that. We do expect it, right? Somewhere unconsciously we are expecting it. There's a lot of fear of judgment that is there. So we feel अगर मुझे कम marks आ गया, if I'm not able to perform well in this particular exam or this particular course, so people are going to criticize me, they're going to judge me, and I'm going to feel bad about it. Now comes perfectionism. There are a lot of students who feel that if I am not able to perform to this particular extent, अगर मुझे इतना अच्छा नहीं आ रहा है, if I am not able to do up till 99%, 98 or whatever they have set the benchmark for themselves, they feel I'm not happy. This is not who I am, or this is what I have not what I have done, and they keep repeating it. So there is this, there's a cycle of perfectionism which can also lead you to getting rid of or not doing stuff that needs to be done. So there is more of procrastination also that goes along with perfectionism. So are you facing this? And let me give you the instance of this student. When I was in my class 10th, I was in Mumbai, Ghatkopar, and we lived on the 7th floor. And there was this boy who lived on the 5th floor, and his window was opposite to mine. Okay, so I could look down and see him. So this boy was in class 10. I was also in class 10, and I used to see him studying sometime after 3:30 at night. I mean, it's morning, but then for me it was night. So he used to sit and study all through the day, all through the night. He was sitting and studying. And my mom used to look at him and feel very happy. She used to keep telling, see, he's studying. You're not studying. You're always enjoying. You're having a good time and you're not studying. I'm sure you won't get good marks. So finally, when the results came out, she realized he got some 50 something percentage. Of course, I had done really well. But there are kids who keep studying because they're not happy with what they have learned, or maybe they feel there is something that is lacking in them. So they keep studying. This also looks like someone who keeps putting in the effort, but nothing is happening. So maybe there needs to be an intervention where we need to understand what is it that is going wrong there. Okay, what is wrong with the studying style? Or is it the studying style? Is it the assimilation? Just like a computer has got an input, a processing, and an output, where are the things going wrong is what needs to be assessed also. And academic trauma, as we all know, it's something that has been there, will be there probably, and nobody is going to speak about it because it's understood that everybody has to face this, and that's why it's normalized and it's totally invisible in our society. Sad, but true. And now let's take a minute and we'll do a short activity. uh, what we'll do is we'll take a blank piece of paper and we'll draw a number line. Okay, so there's going to be an x-axis and a y-axis. Okay, just like how we draw in a graph. And let us start on the x-axis from the time we have started school, maybe class 1. Okay, and we'll mark class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5 until you completed your education. Okay, so once you draw this on your x-axis, on the y-axis, you can just mention the kind of pressure that you experienced in each class, what kind of comparison was done, maybe consciously, maybe unconsciously, maybe your achievements in that particular year. Okay, and once you do this, you can draw that graph, you can draw a bar graph, or maybe you can just plot it as a graph. This is for self reflection. You can understand yourself, how your journey has been during your entire academical educational background. So how has it been? So how was the pressure starting from class 1 to maybe until you completed your degree? So have you experienced any kind of a burnout? Have you experienced any kind of maybe comparisons, maybe procrastination. What have you faced? Any kind of insults, judgments that you have received from people, or have you been appreciated for what you have done in class? So you can just do this graph and you can understand how your journey has been. So it shed a lot of sight on how has been your academical graph, and it gives a lot of input on where you're going wrong and what needs to be repaired going further, because learning never ends. Learning is something that we're going to be doing until the last breath that we take. A lot of people who are even doing their graduation, post graduation, PhDs and whatnot, even post mid age. Okay, so this is something that we need to understand ourselves. What role do each of these life phases have as far as our academics are concerned? Now, what happens when we are going through academic? So, what are the symptoms that we usually see? So, the most common symptoms include insomnia. Now, insomnia also can be various types where, because of overthinking, maybe you are unable to go to sleep. Maybe you wake up from sleep in the middle of your nap, you might wake up, or maybe once you wake up, you are not able to again go back to sleep. So, for whatever reason, what you're experiencing can be because of what is going on inside your mind. Okay, so that is one major symptom. Loss of motivation is another, because what happens is, this is something that I usually share with my clients also. So motivation or inspiration में क्या फर्क है? So I usually tell them it's like the car. Okay, you're sitting inside the car, you're on the driver's seat, the steering is in your hand, and अगर आप accelerator अंदर से दबाते हो, okay, so you're pressing on the accelerator, the vehicle is going to go fast, it's going to pick up speed, it's going to accelerate. Now this is what is called as self motivation. Okay, this is required. Say supposing you're getting it from outside, which means गाड़ी को धक्का मारना पड़ेगा. So that car is standing there, it's unable to move, and you have maybe one or two people pushing the car. Of course, when someone is pushing it, it's going to move inch by inch. But is that speed the same as the one where you have applied the accelerator? No, right? Also, when you're pushing the car, when it has to go downhill, it's going to be super speed. But if it has to go uphill, and usually growth is more about going uphill, right, in life. So, is it going to work if you have an external validation, external motivation, or is it going to be more effective when it is internal, right? So, that is another symptom that we usually have. Then, panic is there before the test. What happens? So I have most of the kids in school. I usually volunteer in a school here, in a local school, and the kids usually come and talk to me. They say, "Ma'am, before the exams, na, our hands become cold, and we keep sweating, and we feel very anxious. We feel like we are not going to be able to perform well. Our heart starts beating very fast. So we feel that there is a panic, which is panic attack that is coming on." So this is a very common symptom that usually children face before exams. Okay, there is constant comparison. See, what happens is usually we see ourselves through the eyes of the other person. So if you have been constantly judged or compared or criticized by people around you, you tend to see yourself through the eyes of the other person who's been doing this to you. It's like we have this saying कि हम हमेशा चश्मा दूसरे का ही पहनते हैं, हम अपने आप को देखते हैं. So we tend to do somebody else. We compare ourselves to our past. So there's a lot inside us, and all of this can lead to emotional breakdowns when we feel there's that selflessness कि nothing can be done. I'm a hopeless case. नहीं हो सकता. I won't be able to, amount to much. And helplessness is, it's just like that, you know. Have you ever noticed, anyone, if you have been to a elephant sanctuary, or you know, a place where elephants are there, maybe a circus, or if you have seen an elephant being tied down, usually what they do is, when the elephant is newly got into a environment in that particular maybe circus or a zoo or whatever, initially the elephant tries to run away. So they tie a very thick iron chain. Okay. The poor elephant drags and tries to get rid of it, but is not able to run away. So over a period of time, there's that helplessness sets in. It thinks, oh, no matter how much I pull, nothing is going to happen. So let me just stand here and, you know, save my energy. So this is something that we tend to do also. It's not just the elephant, even we do this. Many a times, you know, when we face failure, when we feel things are not going as planned, somewhere that helplessness sets in and we feel, chodo, nothing is going to work out for me. And just like that elephant which is tied by a very thin thread, but it's still not able to escape, we also keep tied. We tie ourselves to that environment, to that situation, and don't let go. So this is who we are. And we usually tend to neglect, we tend to not even consider our strengths, our achievements, of how much we have actually gone through to reach here where we are today. We usually see only the negatives, right? We don't tend to see what all we have done, how successful we have been in dealing with situations that maybe others would have found very difficult. Those challenges that we have faced in life. There's no gratitude that is there in us. So all of this again can lead to burnout because we feel it's a helpless situation, it's a hopeless situation. Many students also have perfectionism, procrastination as a result of this. So these are the symptoms that are there. And what are the contributing factors? The main contributing factors usually are parental pressure as far as students are concerned. So we parents, most of us, especially Indian parents, tend to think that we want to live our life through our children. You know, जो मैं नहीं कर पाया मेरा बेटा या बेटी कर दिखाएगी. So this is what we usually tend to assume, not even considering whether the child is really interested in following the path that you have chalked out for them. So I had this particular classmate of mine when I was studying in my degree ke liye. And this boy, his father had a huge hospital, you know. So he sent his son. It was a payment seat. He said, "You have to become a doctor. You have no option because you have to handle the hospital after me." And this boy was just not interested. So he was someone who was interested in sports. And his father says, "Sports, though, it's a waste of time." We tend to do this, right? We Indians are really good at it. We want all the Olympic gold medals, and we want trophies. We want our children to succeed in all the games, but without the working out, or without doing the trials, without doing anything. पढ़ाई होनी चाहिए. Okay, so when the child is in class 12, when the child is doing graduation and all, no, you know, don't need to go and play. You don't need to have extracurricular activities. Just focus on your studies. Don't do anything else. Baki sab waste of time. So the parents usually do this also. There's a lot of pressure that is there on the children. And there was this one girl who came and told me when I was going to school. So she came. She was in class 7. For God's sake, she was in class 7. She comes and tells me, "Ki, ma'am, I feel as if I'm sitting inside a pressure cooker. Anytime I'm going to burst." So this is the kind of pressure that the child feels. We usually have what is called the high performance culture, right? So all of these coaching institutes, why do you think they are mushroomed like this? So we have even colleges for that matter. So my daughter went to a very very famous chain of schools where it's considered an insult, naak katne wali baat, to get anything below 90. They're not even considered, those kids. So it's about how much you have done, how well you have done. And considering all of that, this Dr. John Bradshaw had once mentioned that we all are human doings. We are not human beings because we are not appreciated for who we are. It's just what we do that is validated. Sad, right? And one more thing I've noticed is there's no flexibility of career choices. So even today, if you ask kids, very limited, knowledge or awareness they have about the different careers that are available to them. So very limited choice. Of course, we have to thank COVID. That post-COVID, a lot of newer career options children are aware of. So there are children who tell me, I want to be an entrepreneur or I want to be a YouTuber or something, but very rarely. So most of the children you see are, divided between doctors, engineers, lawyers. So this is how it has been going on. I don't know for God knows how many years, and it still continues. Even now, it continues. Lack of mental health support. So most of the CBSE has announced basically that every school, every coaching institute has to have a counselor, a mental health counselor. Otherwise, their registration, the validation is cancelled. Okay, the coaching institute no longer exists. But now they have, yeah, there are, jugaad and there are tweaks that they find each of these colleges, schools, coaching institutes. So what they have done is they hire one particular counselor, maybe for part time, and they try and juggle between all the branches, all the colleges, all of that. So which is not done actually, but on paper वो दिख जाता है. Like this answers what Shifa, you had just mentioned. You don't know what's happening. So there's just one counselor, and that one counselor is rotated probably between 30 branches of one school, or maybe multiple schools or colleges. So there is absolutely no idea what is happening to which child, because there is absolutely no interaction the counselor has with the children. Then the counselor is not able to help anybody. It's just on paper that the name is there. Okay. Again, we talk about Kota, we talk about Latour, we talk about all of these coaching classes. So there is a coaching class culture which is there in our country. So earlier, I still remember, I'm in my 50s now, almost 50. In my time, a child who goes to tuition was considered not so bright. So if you say that a child is going to coaching, oh, coaching tavataidira, this is what used to be mentioned. But now what is happening is coaching hokta ilva. So this is what is asked. I mean, every child right from nursery is taking coaching, personal coaching, or even going to coaching institutes. It's accepted culture now, and every child is going. So if there is one particular student who is not able to go into tuitions or coaching, so it is understood that nothing can happen. This child will not be able to perform well. So again, this is also happening. Gender biases. This is something that is very common in our country. So it's understood the girls have to choose A, B, C careers. The boys have to choose A, B, C careers. It's understood. Somewhere it is ingrained in our mind. So when you talk about a fireman, you don't say firewoman, you say fireman, right? When you think of a teacher, the first image that comes to your mind is a woman, not a man. So there are certain careers, there is a lot of stereotyping that is there as far as careers are concerned. And after almost 100 years, we have to actually applaud the Supreme Court. After almost 100 years, a few years back, the defense forces have opened up their doors for girls finally. So now we have girls also competing for NDA, for CDS, for RIMC, all of these institutes that are feeder institutes for Army, Navy, and Air Force. So earlier we didn't have this. So slowly, maybe changes are happening, and it's really wonderful that we have NEP now. So with NEP, I'm hoping a lot of things change also. So now that we have considered what is happening, what the symptoms are, how it's detrimental to us, and we have also learned about what are the contributing factors. Now let's learn how to heal. So there are a few points that maybe will help you self-reflect. So the first one is this is for self-reflection, and you can do this later on also. So, is there any one memory that still hurts you or haunts you? Any academic memory that still, you know, is difficult for you to process? So, I was someone, if I have to share mine, early in my primary classes, I had a maths teacher who used to, in our times, we used to have teachers who used to have these scales and hit on our knuckles. Of course, now if you hit a child, it becomes a case of abuse. But in our times, this used to happen. So there was this sir who used to come with the scale and he used to hit on the knuckles if you give wrong answers. So I was not very good at maths, and I think I have taken quite a lot of hittings there. And somewhere it registered that I'm not good at maths, and I still have that in me. Okay, so somewhere I have understood that this is something that I need to stay away from. Numbers, wherever numbers flash or wherever I have to deal with numbers, das kadam piche. I'm not interested. My brother has been forcing me to understand, to learn how trading works, okay, to financially take care of the whatever he's doing. There has to be a backup plan. He said you have to learn trading, you have to learn stocks and shares. But somewhere I'm taking a step back because that is still going on. Oh, I have to see numbers. So does any academic trauma haunt you like how it is doing for me? What is yours? Please do share. Also, if this academics didn't matter, what would you have chosen to do in life? There are so many options that open up, right? So, what would you have chosen to do in life? Think about it. So, in Finland, all the schools they have what is called an open schooling, where the child until reaches until middle school can walk into any classroom and study anything. So it's no, there is no focus key. The child has to do ABC only, 1, 2, 3, 4 only. So it's more of Montessori culture where the child is outside playing in the garden, playing in the park, interacting with other kids, doing all of that, and also walks into class, sees whatever interests the child goes there, sits and learns. So what a wonderful place to study in, right? No exams, no tension, no pressure, nothing. Do you think it will be good if we follow this in India? What are your opinions? Also, say supposing you are in a position to advise a child or a student who is younger, okay? What advice would you give? Or maybe if you could have gone back in time to when you were actually facing challenges in your academics, would what would you give as advice to yourself, your younger self? What would you say to that person struggling, to cope with all of those challenges? What would you say to yourself? Okay. Also, see, success is not something that is, you know, guaranteed. Okay. So we have to keep working. Success is a process. We have to keep working towards it. And failures are lined on the way. Okay. So, say supposing you fail at things multiple times, okay, and when you fail, of course, you feel a little down, you feel a little, out. So, what would you have wanted someone to say to you at that time? What would have made it better for you at that time? Okay, which brings me to the most important question of what is your definition of success? What does success mean to you? And again, this depends on age, this depends on the environment that the person is brought up in. So, if you ask me what is success to me at this age, at this juncture in life, I will say success for me is health, okay, being healthy, not having any diseases. Maybe it's about spending my time the way I want to, with the people I want to, also about doing things that makes me happy, right? So even is that is also success, right? So for many people, success might be a big gadi, big bangla. For maybe someone success is about getting validation for their achievements, naam, shorat, paisa, whatever. So, what is your definition of success? It is your own definition. Please do think about it. So now that we know, we have understood a little bit about it. Let's see what we can do. Okay. So how many of you practice journaling? You can just put it down in the chat. And journaling is a beautiful habit that can help you make sense or gain clarity about what goes on in your mind. See, normally our mind has got millions of thoughts. So basically, it is our monkey mind that runs in all different directions. So when we journal, what happens is those thousand thoughts get very concise, and when we write it down, it is just one thought maybe that we write. Okay. So that way, what happens is all those other random thoughts that we didn't need, all that overthinking reduces. So journaling gives you a lot of clarity about where you are and where you need to go. So it helps you. Okay. Counseling does help, and counseling is, again, it's a process. And counseling is not something that you only do for people who are going through negative things. It's also about growth. It's also about improving yourself. Okay. It's also about self reflection. Okay. Mindfulness does help. Would you be up to, maybe a short session of mindfulness? Please put in your thoughts here. We can do a very short, session for mindfulness if we have the time, that is. Peer support helps because ultimately the student phase is when the most importance is given to our friends. So friends become more than family in that stage. So it's important to choose the right group to mingle with. So if you are one of the four and those four people are very focused, or they're working towards their goals, you'll be the fifth one working towards your goal. If those three or four people around you are drinking, merrymaking, and having fun, you will also be one of them. Okay. So it's important to have the right environment and the right structure, the peer group. Also, you need to have people who are supportive, who are ready to listen to you without judgment and without criticism. That's important. So, someone who just listens and sees your perspective, okay, and who's there to hold your hand when you need them. So, do you have someone like that? Please put it in the chat. And it's also about understanding what success means to you. Our society has branded success in a particular way. See, whether it is media or whether it is society, what happens? Now, if I say toothpaste, what is the first toothpaste that comes to your mind? It's either Colgate or you'll say Sensodyne. Why does this happen? Because we have been primed, we have been conditioned to understand that this is what it is. Just like that, we have also been conditioned, we have been primed to understand that success means this much of bank balance, these kind of houses, this kind of wealth. Is that success to you? Maybe yes. I don't say money is not needed. Money is very important. But what is success for you? Success is also about the kind of effort that you put in and also the kind of growth. And this is a process. It happens through life. Okay. And this is something that we really need to focus on. Ultimately, what happens is academics will only give you the knowledge. Okay. That knowledge has to be turned into wisdom. That is what you're going to use in your life. Right? So you've learned trigonometry, you have learned mensuration, you have learned differentiation, all of that. But how you utilize it in your life? You have learned geography, you have learned history, but how you use that in your life? That is what is wisdom. Okay? There are a lot of we actually need to have healthy boundaries, and we need to have that limits set in place. This is how much I'm going to take, the kind of pressure, the kind of knowledge input that I require. This is where it ends. and this is what is required for me, not more, not less. So you have to do it with academics also. Just like we do it with relationships and with society in general, please do have healthy boundaries for your academics also. And most importantly, we are still lacking on this career coaching or career mentoring or career counseling, internships. Okay, all of these things are still not the chosen things here in student communities. So I think there's a lot of awareness that is required, and there's a lot of we need to give the students a lot of clarity on how these are going to help them also, because career coaching and career mentoring can actually help you grow. Ultimately, what is a career? A career is not a place that you go and 9 to 5 you're going to work and bring home a paycheck. I don't think that is a career. A career is where you shine your light. It's where you're able to give back, and feel that kind of satisfaction that you have, right? So a career is where you feel that yes, this is what I'm born to do in life. So let's make more good choices as far as career goes. There are more than, I think, 90,000 careers that are available, and we have hardly any awareness about it. Let's try and learn. And Career Naksha is really helping with this. So there is a psychometric assessment that is available, and with the assessment, your interest, your aptitude, your intelligence is gauged, and your learning styles are gauged, your values are gauged, all of that. And once all of this is done, then there's a proper report that comes in which tells you where you would shine best, which career suits you. So multiple options also that are given. Okay. So this is something that we can look at. Am I audible still? I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. So do we have time? Can I take a 5 minute meditation session for mindfulness to give
For
them a feel
audience,
of how it feels? Or yes,
yeah, you can take. Yeah.
is there a time? Do we have time?
Yeah, you can continue. Yeah.
Okay, fine. ठीक है. So let's do a short session. Okay. So what I'll request is mm, maybe find a comfortable position wherever you're seated or if you're lying down. Maybe you're sitting on a chair or a bed or wherever, and maybe on the floor. You can just maybe gently close your eyes, or if you don't want to close your eyes, you can slowly lower your gaze, look down, and feel safe. This is a safe space, so you can feel safe. You can allow your hands to rest in your laps. Maybe you want to keep them on your sides. That's perfectly all right. You can allow your shoulders to relax. Just understand that there's nowhere else that you need to go right now. There's nothing more important or nothing to achieve right now in this moment. So just allow yourself to be, just be here in this moment, okay? And slowly allow yourself to relax. So you can bring your attention to your breath, okay? So you don't have to change your breathing or anything. Just notice how you inhale, how you exhale, the gentle rhythm of breathing in and breathing out that is happening, that inhale and exhale. Please understand that breathing is not just about exchange of gases like how we have learned in science. Breathing is also an exchange of energy that happens, you with your environment. So it is also called as prana in Sanskrit. Prana means life force. Have you noticed ever the kind of energy that you experience when you're in a temple and breathing naturally, or versus you breathing maybe in a environment that is, high strung, maybe in a jail, in a hospital, when someone is ill, you're breathing in, breathing out, but somehow it changes, right? So just feel, just notice your breath, okay? Just feel how this air goes in through your nose. How does it feel as it enters your nose? How does it feel when it fills your chest? And how this leaves gently as you exhale. Mind will wander, and it's perfectly natural. That's okay. Just come back to your breath. It's just like coming back home. So breathe in and breathe out. Maybe you want to exhale through your mouth if you want your exhales to be longer. Now slowly bring awareness to your body. Let's begin with your toes. Be aware of your toes and how they feel, the softness in your toes. Let this feeling now travel up to your feet, slowly to your ankles, your calves, to your thighs. Just allow all of these parts to relax. Have you ever noticed during rainy season, there's these multiple droplets of water on a window and they join and they fall together, right? Just like that. Maybe you want to visualize or imagine that the feeling of relaxation is traveling from your toes to your feet, to your calf muscles, to your thighs. Notice any tension in your legs, maybe firmness, stiffness, and take in a deep breath and exhale it out. Throw it out, flush it out. Take in all the positive energy from around you and exhale out whatever is stale, whatever is negative, that which you do not need. Now let this feeling of relaxation travel to your stomach, slowly to your chest. As you inhale and exhale, allow it to move to your shoulders, your arms, up till the tip of your fingers. You might feel that your hands are getting either very light or very heavy. It's very natural. Notice your neck, your jaw, your face, your forehead as this relaxation spreads, just like those droplets of water. Let every muscle know it is safe to soften and relax now. Breathing in and breathing out. Now imagine a place where you feel very safe. It may be any place that makes you feel safe. Maybe a forest, maybe a room in the house. It may be a beach. It may be a mountain. It may be a cloud. So in this particular space, your happy place, there are no exams, there's no pressure, there's no judgment, there's no one who's criticizing you, there are no expectations, just peace. So take in a deep breath, feel that peace, feel that safety in the air. Visualize, imagine all those colors around you. feel that warmth in your body, that warmth you feel because of that sense of safety. In this space, you are enough, just as you are. You just be calm, feel that joy in every single millimeter of your body. You're allowed to breathe, to rest, to simply be. And now, slowly, just slowly speak the words of affirmation that I tell. You can repeat them with me. I am not defined by my marks. I am learning, growing, and healing every day. My worth is beyond performance. It is safe to be kind to myself. And as you tell these sentences, feel the warmth in your body, and slowly you can bring your awareness back to the room. Maybe you want to wiggle your fingers, maybe you want to stretch a little bit. Take one last deep breath and slowly exhale from your mouth. And once you think you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. So, how does it feel now? Please put in your inputs in the chat. I hope it helped bring in a little peace for you. Here are a few more affirmations. I am more than my grades. I release the pressure to be perfect. I deserve kindness even when I fail. I choose growth, not comparison. I am the author of my story. I am resilient. I am growing. I am enough. I am kind. I can. Affirmations help make sense of who we are on the inside. Okay, so please do practice affirmations. They really help. And I'm sure most of us have seen this image. So there's a story where all of these poor animals have been lined up, and he says, the selector says, for a fair selection everyone has to take the same exams, and please, everyone has to climb the tree. Just imagine, the monkey would be able to. Can the fish? Can the elephant? Can the seal? So we are trying to judge all the students based on one particular criteria or category, which becomes, it's so unfair to every student. So as we know that there are different types of intelligence, there are different. We usually used to think that intelligence is more of maybe maths, or maybe how we speak or how we write. That's not just the only things. So there are different types of intelligence that are there. There are a lot of psychological theories that have come up, okay, about the levels of intelligence, about the types of intelligence, the multiple intelligences that are there. So there are kids who are exceptionally good in maybe verbal abilities. Maybe there are kids who are exceptionally good in spatial abilities, gauging spaces around them. So when you see a driver, when you see a sculptor, when you see a painter, so all of these are, pilots. All of these are good at gauging spaces around them, understanding. There are kids who are having exceptional musical ability. So again, it's something that is ingrained. It's there in them. We need to hone these talents. We need to, we do a SWOT analysis when we do a career assessment. So that really helps the child understand where the child will be able to shine. What is that child's particular intelligence? So it helps the child make a better choice. It's not just about interest. Because many a times we choose a career based on interest. And we know कि आज सुपरमैन पसंद है तो कल बैटमैन पसंद आ जाएगा. So we cannot choose a career based just on interest. We need to take into account abilities also. Whether this child has got the ability to perform in that particular career, what kind of personality that child has, and whether the child is an introvert or an extrovert will be able to perform in that particular environment. So all of these things need to be taken into consideration. Okay. So let's not just try and judge every student based on one single criteria. And finally, the world needs not more toppers, but more thinkers, healers, artists, more kind humans. So, with this, I thank all of you for your time, for your patience, for listening to me with interest. I hope I have done justice to this time that was given to me. And please do give your feedback. And I'm open to
All
your
right.
queries, to your doubts. Thank you.
Anyone, if you're having any doubt, you can just put it in the chat box. We'll take the questions. We can contact to as if ma'am whenever the question comes. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the very enlightening session. And we'll end our stream over here. Thank you so much.